Alright, we are live here on Love the Beat Radio. Sorry we're a bit minutes late because our lovely guest Sam Woods was late, but it's okay. It's all good. That's what happens when you do live stuff. Yeah. Okay, we are finally here. So yeah, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, sorry, this thing's just a bit echoey. Let me just try and sort this out. 1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're back.
That's better.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Yeah.
We're recording it on this anyway, so we're all good.
Okay.
Yes, how are you? How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. What have you been up to?
Well, I've signed for Croydon Athletic Football Club part-time now. So that basically come about because one of the co-chairmen was the player liaison officer at Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
And
he saw,
he saw that I left Bromley and basically said, do I fancy it? And so I've joined there, and it's been good so far.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been fun. Yeah.
How many games? You said you had a game this week as well, and then you had a game like on this weekend. So I thought it was only like kind of just one game a week kind of thing.
Yeah. So there's a lot of Tuesday Saturday games, and then we would just train on the Thursday. So you'd only just training once a week, and then you're playing games. But
because I thought it'd be like a train midweek and then sort of have the game on Saturday.
Yeah. So if we was just Saturday to Saturday and there was no midweek game, we train Tuesday and Thursday night.
Yeah.
So a lot of the boys have full-time jobs alongside it, obviously. Yeah. So
let me just shut that window 1 second.
No worries.
So wait, is that Croydon Athletic?
Yeah, Croydon Athletic.
So what like where in the football pyramid are?
So they are step 4 of non-league. So National League would
like
be
the
step
conference.
1. Yeah, Conference Prem would be step 1.
Yeah.
So then Croydon are in the 4th division of that, basically.
So they're 4 leagues below that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's like.
So if they got promoted, they'd be in step 3, which is like the Isthmian Prem.
Oh,
then promoted again is Conference South, then Conference Prem, and then League 2.
So they're like Division 8.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yeah.
So say the Premier League is like.
Yeah. So League 2 would
1.
be 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, cool. What is it like, kind of, to playing at that level? Is it like fun? Is it more just sort of enjoyable, like a laugh? Kind of thing?
I think that was probably maybe the first little bit. It starts to get semi-serious. So I think that like boys obviously getting paid a wage, so it's got to be something.
You get paid at that
Yeah,
level?
you get paid.
I didn't think you did. Oh, okay.
So it's got to be sort of semi-serious.
Yeah.
Getting paid. But I would say maybe the level above, and obviously Conference South is then when it gets really serious.
Yeah, because obviously people are playing for a bit more, like in terms of they can still make it, or they're using that to sort of pay bills and stuff. Kind of
I think you have what I've found now is like the varied of player. So you've got maybe the younger player in the team, even at Croydon, who's maybe 19, 20, who still wants to go pro or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you've maybe got like the older players that are playing, who've
More
had a
for
career
fun.
maybe, or
More
playing for fun. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And looking at an eye on
like they might have had a professional career. They're sort of done with that kind of level, and it's just more sort of fun just to keep playing football.
I mean, the best example of this is the FA Cup. I mean, I watched Doncaster Kettering on BBC last week.
Yeah.
And you had players like Niall Ranger playing for Kettering. Marvin Sordell, who's obviously had a big career, he's been playing Kettering.
Yeah.
And there was another Gary Hooper as well.
Yeah. Oh, is he still playing? He was like top scorer at Celtic like 12 years ago. Yeah, that's funny actually. It's like Hornchurch.
Yeah.
Where my mate Lewis is from. Sean Scannell plays him.
Yeah. And like you realise when you play
Jay played against him in the summer.
Oh, really? Yeah.
For like a work tournament.
Yeah. And then when you play at that level, you do actually realise there are some players that are just maybe either wanting a bit older in their career or just want to play non-league.
For like just to keep themselves busy and stuff, yeah. Because if I was thinking about it, I was kind of thinking about it. If I was a footballer and say your career finishes early, or even if it didn't finish early, a lot of people would still want to play because they're used to that every day sort of training and playing. It'd be kind of weird to just sort of go from doing nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think it's kind of a good transition from going to do, eventually your body obviously can't play football at that level.
Yeah.
So it's like a good step from going maybe full time where you're training every day and playing on the weekend to then training 2 or 3 times a week and playing on the weekend and then eventually stopping. So it is a good way of just like maybe like slowing it down.
It's kind of like, in a way, it kind of just becomes more of a hobby instead of, say, your all-out focus kind of, and you can do other things as well.
Exactly, and it's just a good way of keeping fit as well, keeping healthy, physical.
Yeah.
So
because I always wonder about, I'm trying to think, if I was an athlete, especially a footballer, because sometimes you see a lot of sort of retired ex-pros where you can tell they don't do any exercise anymore. I just don't get how people do that.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Especially when you've gone your whole life being quite fit.
Yeah.
And, you know, with, say, other sports, you know, like I don't know, say a Formula 1 driver or a fighter, for example, you kind of have to watch your weight and what you're eating.
Yeah.
Well, with football, obviously, you do need to eat healthy and stuff, but you can sort of get away with eating sort of crap, basically, as long as you're generally okay and you're fit and healthy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely.
You can still have, like, treats and stuff.
Yeah, I think, obviously, it depends on what type of manager you have. Like, I know some people that are playing for Leeds, Bielsa, like, they'd get weighed every day.
Every day?
Yeah, body fat every day.
I think that's a bit ridiculous, though.
And if it was, like, literally, I don't know what the exact words, but if it was like a few pounds overweight than what you was expected, then he would like make you run. And there's a notorious thing in football called the Fat Club, where it's like if you're a certain body fat percentage, sports scientists and physiotherapy departments, they'll make you do cardio in the morning before training, just so you get below a certain body fat.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I think that should only really come into play if your, say, performances are dropping or you're clearly not at the fitness level.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is, but at football clubs, I'm sure you have to be able to do this amount of sort of, you know, like pre-season, you know, you're doing bleep tests and stuff. If you can't keep up with it, then clearly you're not at the level to play 90 minutes.
I think it is literally just so varied on the manager. Like some managers are very strict on that, and then some are very relaxed and don't really care about it, to be honest. So
if I was a manager, I would want my players to be way fitter than everyone else, but I wouldn't. I'm trying to think if I would care about their fat, because you know, you look at a guy like say you get anomalies. I think you know, like Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
His body type. Yeah. That's just his natural genes, but he was one of the fittest players. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if I'd read too much into sort of the
But then it's like you argue that Wayne Rooney, if Wayne Rooney went in under Bielsa, I honestly think Bielsa wouldn't have it. I think Bielsa would be like, if you're not a certain player, like if you're not fitting my mould, then...
I know, but then that's why I'm saying it'd be kind of silly, because he clearly was fit. His conditioning was incredible, and then you might have lost a world-class player for what reason? Because
no, 100%.
I think he's just got one of those body types where even in his absolute peak, he was still bigger. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't fat, but he just, you know, he's just, and now that he's stopped playing, he's gotten bigger. Do you know what I mean? He's just got that kind of body type.
Yeah.
You know, like you get athletes like look at Tyson Fury, for example. The guy, he's one of the fittest fighters I've ever seen, but he looks like fat and tubby. Do you know what I mean? And he's 6'9". No. So you get anomalies, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, a strange one. It's funny. What do you think about this whole, players play too many games, and then, because I kind of think it winds me up when I hear players say it, because they're getting paid millions, especially at the highest level. I get it at the lower level. You know, if you're in the Championship, League 1, League 2, the National League, 46 games in a season, plus cup games, you're playing basically Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a lot of games, and you're not getting paid millions and millions.
Yeah.
And it's a lot on your body, physically, like mentally and stuff. But it kind of does bother me when I hear, you know, like we're getting the busy Christmas period, you see players go, oh, well, I think Jordan Henderson was complaining about it a few years ago. Oh, well, we got to play so many games. And I'm thinking, you get paid so much money. And I get it, it's hard. But at the end of the day, it's 90 minutes of your life. And it just winds me up. And if it was the other way around and you were getting dropped during these games and you weren't playing at all, you'd be saying, oh, why am I not playing? Yeah. So it winds me up.
No, I mean, I can definitely see both sides to it. So I can understand why fans are like, kind of can't relate to players, because, I mean, the average fan is working maybe like 50, 60 hours a week, maybe not getting a lot of money, and then hearing a footballer complain about playing 90 minutes on a Saturday. You can understand why, and they're getting paid millions. You can totally understand.
Your dream job for the club that you love, kind of thing.
But then on the flip side, I mean, playing Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, when it's like that, is physically tough. Like it is demanding, and
you're away from maybe your family and stuff.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, maybe there is a conversation to be had, but when I hear players, I think I heard Rodri say he'd go on strike, or I heard someone say that I don't want to quote Rodri actually.
I know he did. He did say that.
Yeah, go on strike. Yeah. I think that's way too far. Like you shouldn't be saying you're going on strike to play football.
Because you're getting like 300 grand a week, and you're sitting here like that's basically how it looks. Well, that's exactly how it looks. Yeah. I know, I get it. It's physically hard. Yeah. And it's demanding, but you're.
I personally believe though the money shouldn't be an argument in it, because it shouldn't be an argument, because Rodri has been given that money. Whether, do you know what I mean? The players get given that money. Yeah. So when people say, "Oh, they get that so much money, they should just do what they want." Yeah. No one's like, he's given that because he's a talented player, and he hasn't like, I mean, he's obviously asked for it, but like he hasn't just been given it. Do you know?
He's earned it. I agree.
So, like, if he's saying that it's physically tough, then maybe there's a conversation to be had in terms of maybe we should have less international breaks or something like that.
Right.
Where there's ways around it, but to say you go on strike, I think it's just that's basically saying that you're not even up for the conversation at that point. That's basically just saying
there's no middle ground.
Yeah, there's no middle ground.
The only thing that I would say, which I do sort of see these players' points. So, for example, like the new Champions League format. Yeah. So that basically, how it's now, it's not the group stage anymore.
Is it more fixtures, isn't it?
It's technically 2 more games.
Yeah.
And if if you're in the qualifying round, it's at least 3 more extra games. So I guess you'd be playing at least 3 more games a year. And you've got to think, if you're one of the top clubs, so for example, Real Madrid will probably be in that qualifying team because they haven't done that well. Yeah. So that means there's another 3 games in the Champions League that they wouldn't have played last year. Yeah. And then you've got to think all of the games that they do play, and most of those players all of those players at Real Madrid, you're an international player. Yeah. So you've got to think you would have had World Cup this year, you would have African Cup of Nations this year, Copa America this year, maybe Olympics if you're a young player. Yeah. So I get it. That is a lot. That is too many games.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of at the end of the day, it's going to be about money. So the broadcasters are putting on this extra Champions League format to get more matches on TV, to get more revenue, and then that's what's giving the players the money. Ironically, so it's kind of like
it's like it's ironic.
It works both ways. Yeah, where if the players want less fixtures, then that's fine, but then there might be less revenue from broadcasters that the football clubs then make, that then they'll go on their salary, if that makes sense.
So, it pays their wages.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, if players at that top level want less games, then they might have to accept they're getting less salary, but. Yeah. And then that's when you would really know if they're not up for the games. Like if they went to Rodri, right, we've got we've got a new format or whatever, we're cutting our wage bill. If you take a 50 grand salary hike a week, will you play less games to see if they take it?
Yeah, exactly. And say for example, in Saudi Arabia, there's loads of money there. Yeah. If they say to them, okay, well, say their money did go down here, and then Saudi Arabia said, well, we'll pay you an extra 200 grand, but you've got to play an extra 10 games a season. They'd be like, yeah, I would do that. Yeah. Like that, you would. So I do see it from both sides, because if you're a player that's in the League 2 or Conference, and you were like earning not even 10% of what these guys are earning in the Champions League and stuff like Rodri or whatever, you'd be like, yeah, I would do that for 1 year, and I'd play even an extra 15 games just to have half of what he's earning. Exactly. Do you know what I mean? So it does. I do see both sides. No, one thing I was going to ask: do you think? I was thinking this. Like a player like Rashford, he's still young. Like 26, he's still pretty young. When you've got to think, he made his debut 2016 when he was 18 years old. Do you think sometimes players like him, maybe they've played too many games and their performances dropped? Like him, Mason Mount, and then their bodies are kind of declining because they might have played too many games too young, and now it's catching up with them now.
Yeah, I mean, I think playing a lot of games when you're young isn't the best thing. I think that your body and being a footballer, training and the demands is a lot on a young person. Yeah. But I don't think that just because they may be in a bad vein of form the last couple of years. I mean, did he score 2 the other night, Rashford? Or did he
I still think he did. I think he scored an assist. Yeah.
So you never know. Like he can definitely come back in form and get his head down and stuff. So
because sometimes I look at I'm not singling out Rashford.
I know Michael Owen's another example that pops in my head for like the back of injuries in terms of playing a lot when he was young. Yeah, played a lot when he was young. Then got one bad hamstring injury. I think I heard him say.
Yeah, he sort of got injured in his prime. Yeah, because he left Liverpool. He was still one of the best players in the world. Went to Real Madrid. Got injured, went to Newcastle, was still a good player, got injured again, and then it just he was never the same sort of thing. And sometimes you wonder, maybe if he didn't play as many games when he was 18, 19, would he have had a longer career? But it does kind of work both ways, because I remember 10 years ago, everyone was complaining 10, 15 years ago, saying, oh, there's not enough English young players getting minutes. And it was true. Now it's the opposite. There's so many good young English players that are playing every game, and then now it's like, oh, well, who do you pick? And is it too much sometimes? Yeah. Look at for example, I remember. Sorry, excuse me. The first time I saw Bellingham, he's 24, I think now. Yeah. And he's already got like nearly 50 England caps, and he's 20. He only just turned 24.
Yeah, exactly.
So and he was playing professional football since he was like 15, 16. Not every game when he was that young, but it's a lot, and it does put miles on the clock. Yeah. No, so definitely. I wonder what is the best way to do it.
Yeah, I think it takes a certain manager to take a young player and maybe throw them in the spotlight or throw them in the team. They start playing well. Then maybe it's just like, right, I'll take you out for a couple of games just to save you and preserve you and even protect you from the media to a certain extent, scrutiny and stuff like that. So, because when you're a young player, you are inconsistent. Like it's just a known thing in football that where you're not going to be a 9 out of 10 every week. Do you know what I mean? So, and then obviously with social media and stuff, it's easier to read. So I think if you have a good manager, I think they will take you out for a couple of games.
Yeah. And I think as well, at the highest level, it's different. I remember when Stuart Downing, when he joined Liverpool.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's an England international, played nearly over 50 games for England, played in the top European games he's played in international tournaments and that. But I remember when he came to Liverpool, and he's an experienced player at Liverpool. He was 28 when he joined from Aston Villa for like 30 million. He was inconsistent. He was a good player, but it took him until like the last few games to score a Premier League goal or an assist or something like that. And I remember him saying in an interview, it's different. Like Aston Villa's a big club, but if we lost the game, it was like, so on to the next one. When he was at Liverpool, you played bad or you had a bad game or Liverpool lost. It was like, oh my, this is a massive deal. We should be winning every game kind of thing. And he was like, I noticed straight away. I was like, wow, the standard is different. So just imagine if you're a young player like a Rashford at Man United, you have to play well every game.
I believe as well, you're going to get scrutinised. I mean, even to an extent, Mo Salah, right? He's probably arguably world class.
I think he's the best player in the world right now. Yeah.
And some people are saying that, but I know at the moment, I think everyone is kind of on the majority in terms of he should be offered a new contract.
Yeah.
But I know at the start of the season, a lot of people were going, right, we need to replace Salah. He's going to spend his contract. He's getting old. Like, he's not the same player he was. And then when you think about that how mad it is, like somebody scored like maybe, was it 240 goals for Liverpool? Like, crazy to even think that he wouldn't be offered another contract. Like,
you know what I think as well? When you see, because, you know, like as time goes on, you're talking about sports scientists and stuff.
Yeah.
As time goes on, and sports science gets better, and people recover better, and everything like that, like the athletes get better, right? I think, you know, like 10, 15 years ago, when you were 31 or 32, you were like old. Whereas now, the athletes are so good. Being 32, 33 is like you're in your prime.
Yeah.
Whereas your prime before was like 26, 25, 27.
Yeah.
Now, I think the athletes are so good. So Mo Salah's what, 32, 33?
Yeah.
I don't look at him as an old player. Same with Van Dijk.
And he's rarely injured as well. He's
never injured, yeah.
I think it depends. I mean, you get some players that are constantly injured when they're young, and then they're not maybe playing when they're 30. But then you get some players who never get injured, who are maybe more fit at 30, 31, 32. So I don't think you can just like do it so blasé in terms of an age group. So you go 30, right, you're written off, you're injury prone, whatever, because there might be a 34-year-old who's actually fitter, less injury prone than a 22-year-old who's constantly injured.
Look at James Milner, for example.
Exactly.
He's still playing Premier League football now. Like, I was going to say he's retired. He's still playing now. And it's a shame. Some people are just built different. Like Sturridge, for example.
Yeah.
He should still be playing for Liverpool and England now. He's young.
Yeah,
he should still be playing for England now, really.
Yeah.
And him, Jack Wilshere, Andy Carroll, these players that were really good, but they're just injured all the time. They can never get going. And you sometimes see that now with like Reece James and who's the other one that's injured quite a lot? There's another player that's injured quite often. I can't remember his name, but for example, Reece James is another one.
I mean, it's not
really good player, but always injured.
It's not like a anomaly. Like, it's a very common thing that some players just are injured, and just there's nothing you can do about it. Their bodies maybe are just. I don't know if it's a genetic thing. I don't know if it's just like, because I don't believe that they don't do the rehab and do all the right things. I believe they have the best doctors, the best physios, and I don't think. I know that they won't be skipping corners and doing anything like that. It might just be their bodies just can't do it. Exactly.
Some people just might not, for whatever reason, whether it's like their body size, their shape, their muscle, whatever it might be, they just can't sustain.
I mean, even for me, for a certain level, like when I was 19, 20, I went on loan a couple of times. I'd done my hamstring about 4 times in about 2 months, and there was nothing. I would do different workouts. I would do like lots of weights to try and get it strong. Then I would tear it again. Then I went the complete opposite route and thought, right, maybe I'm like overloading it too much with the weight. So let me do some more yoga and more flexibility, but rather less weights. I do it again, and then like you get to a certain point where it's like no matter what you do, So
do you think
there is different arguments though? I went to one physio, who said, don't do any Nordics, don't do any RDLs, don't do any hamstring work. Just let it rest and recover naturally. And then you go to another physio who will like be right. You need to load that hamstring. You need to strengthen it. You need to like
put on
all of the stress. So it can build up the resistance. And it's just like both these people have studied probably sports science, physio, biology at uni, and they've got such different views.
It just goes to show that it's very subjective.
Yeah.
And do you think? Or what I was going to ask you is, Do you think that they should allow things like, not steroids, but like stem cells, things that can help you recover quicker? Because like in the MMA, a lot of UFC fighters go to this. It's allowed. It's not against the rules. Yeah. They go to places like Colombia and Mexico, and they get stem cells in their knee for their meniscus and their ACLs, and you never really have problems with it ever again. I think they should. I don't know if it's allowed or whatever, but they should look into that.
I had a cortisone injection in my ankle, so that's technically that is a steroid. So that was injected in my ankle, and that was obviously passed or whatever. But in terms of stem cell therapy and stuff like that, I actually don't know what the rules are in terms of that. But I know you are allowed to have steroid injections, and you're allowed to have whatever.
Because a lot of UFC fighters get stem cells in their knee and into their meniscus and all of that sort of those sort of temperamental areas in your leg and knee and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's really good for recovery, and then you never really what's his name, Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah.
He had that as well. He had that in his shin and never had any injuries there again. So, maybe they should look into that. But I do think with all sports, as the athletes get better, the sports science gets better. Eventually, over time, obviously there will always be anomalies, but I think we will see less injuries and less.
I do think though that some sports scientists, yes, they might be studying at top universities and be doing masters and everything, but they don't come from a football background, so they study everything in terms of the theory. Then when it comes to the practical side of it, I think there's a big difference. So it's you can study the most optimum recovery and what you should be doing, but when you've got an FA Cup replay on a Thursday night and you played on a Tuesday, that all goes out the window in terms of the manager's not going, right, what's the optimum plus 2 day recovery and all that. It's right, how are we getting them ready for Thursday? It's a day's recovery. You're on the coach for 8 hours and stuff like that. So it's practical real life scenarios. I think sometimes the sports scientists don't pick up on. But
in a way, you kind of but it'd be ideal if you had players sort of go into that after their career. Definitely. And they know a bit more, so there's a bit more common ground. Yeah,
and I know that I've done warm-ups sometimes where you're doing a warm-up and you're knackered because the sports scientist thinks you should be doing all this stuff. You do a 40-minute warm-up, for example. Yeah. When in reality, it's right. Let's just do a 10-minute quick warm-up, so we're getting ready. Then we're ready for the training session. And then I know some players would get very angry with the sports scientist and be like, "Well, you can't say what the hell are we doing?" Come
it's
on,
just overworking. Yeah. But then some people, it's very subjective. I think
But then all players are different. So some players, before the session, we do something called pre-activation. So you go into the gym and you do certain movements and exercises to get your body ready before you go outside. And some players prefer to do just nothing. They just like to go out and play football. Ever since they was a kid, probably when you go to the goals or power league, whatever, you wouldn't do any of that, would you? So they're used to that.
No, you wouldn't.
Then you'd get some players that'd be in the gym an hour before the session who are doing everything, planking or stretching or whatever. So I think it's just very player dependent on what you're.
Yeah, in a way, it should be kind of let them decide and then go from there. Because it's not one size fits all. Do you before you have games now or when you were playing even at the higher level? Yeah. Did you like to eat before games?
No, so I mean it's changed for me personally. So the sports science optimum is 3 hours before a game. So let's say you've got a 3 o'clock kickoff. Yeah. The latest you should eat is 12, or your meal should be at 12, and you shouldn't eat any big meal after that.
Nothing too heavy.
Nothing too heavy, yeah. So the top clubs will put on a spread of everything. So there'll be pasta, chicken, salmon, veg. If you want that, then there'll be porridge, cereal, eggs, beans. If you just want a lighter dish. So it's very dependent.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think what I would do.
I've changed. I mean, when I first started, I would have quite a big meal, and as I've got a bit older, now I kind of have maybe a little bit of pasta and a bit of veg, and that's it.
I think that's probably. Protein, I think I'd want something in the middle, just so I'm not hungry. Yeah. And then at the same time, I love doing cardio when I'm sort of on an empty stomach. I usually do cardio on an empty stomach. Yeah. But then I guess that's not lasting as long as say maybe 90 minutes. So yeah. I think I'd probably eat something but maybe just eggs and a bit of toast or something
exactly, and then you can have maybe an energy gel if you're want to get a boost for half. Yeah. But then it also makes a difference with kickoff time.
Or a protein bar as well.
Kickoff time makes a big difference. So if you've got a 12:30 kickoff, you're obviously eating a lot earlier than if you've got an 8:30 or 8 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah, I think if I had a 12:30 game, I don't think I'd eat. Yeah. I might have maybe a coffee. I think I'd probably have a coffee and maybe a protein bar just to get something in me. Yeah. But if I had a game at 5:30 or 8 o'clock, I would definitely have a big meal at lunch or something. Yeah.
So I guess these are that sort of things that you don't really think about as a football fan.
You don't think anything about
the behind the scenes. either just gone to work and then you're going to your match, or you've
all the
gone
prep,
on the weekend.
all the prep that goes into like a game plan, and we got to be here, the logistics, because it's the same in our industry, like TV.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like you'll see if you watch. Are you watching I'm a Celeb at the moment?
Yeah.
I'm not watching I'm a Celeb, but I can guarantee, because a lot of my colleagues are working on it that I worked with last year. I guarantee sometimes you're watching these tasks and you might see 5 minutes of it, but the amount of time it would have got, they would have been, oh, we need to get that shot. Oh, sorry, can we zoom in here? Oh, we need to edit this for ages. Oh, can we buy this prop? Like you might spend hours just buying a piece of card, trying to get the right one, just for it to be on TV for 2 minutes.
Yeah, TV and football is kind of very similar in terms of, as an outsider, you either watch a 90-minute match or an hour show. Yeah. But the amount of work that goes into that hour show or that match is just so much more than you would ever know, 100%. Unless you probably was living a week behind the scenes where you could see what actually goes on. You can see,
and it's just like, even with and when you're done watching an episode or watching a match, you're like, oh well, Liverpool are playing again next week, kind of thing, or the next episode is tomorrow. You don't realise all the prep that will go in for that next game, where there's got to be team meetings and training and recovery and whatever. And then same with like if we're making an episode of Big Brother. Oh, now next time we've got to buy this and we've got to set up this and we've got to have everyone come in at this time. And do you know what I mean? All of that prep is just, it's nuts. Yeah, definitely. People don't realise. Yeah, it makes a difference though. You playing tomorrow?
Yeah, we've got a game tomorrow.
At Croydon Arena?
Yeah, Croydon. So there's Croydon Arena is where Croydon FC play.
Oh, I thought it was the same club.
No, there's two clubs. Croydon Athletic, we play at basically the back, in Thornton Heath by the Croydon Creme.
South Norwood Lakes.
Yeah, near there, near the pond, Thornton Heath pond,
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought you were playing at Croydon Arena. Right.
So it's based there, but I'm not sure if the game will be on with apparently there's a storm tonight, isn't there? So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I reckon. Well, maybe not. Yeah. I done a. Do you know where I want to go? Like, I don't know if they're in the same league as you. Dulwich Hamlet, are they in the same league?
So they're in the league above.
Oh.
Yeah. So if we get promoted.
Have you ever been to a game there?
Yeah.
You have to watch.
There, yeah, and played. Yeah. So.
Was that when you were a kid?
When I was at Crystal Palace. 23s. We used to always play Dulwich in a pre-season game.
Right.
No matter what, every year, and it would always be packed out, and I know they get a good crowd down there. So.
Mate,
I haven't
been to a game there, but it's. Do you know what's so funny? So the last 2 years, for some reason it's become really trendy.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
But obviously I work in telly. 3-4 people that I've worked with over the last couple of years have told me they go to games regularly, and they're all girls.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Yeah. And then I see it on Instagram. People are going to Dulwich Hamlet and they're taking pictures with their dogs, and they got the spot, and they got loads of people in the crowd. This guy that I work with, he said he's gone with like his little daughter and stuff. I'm like, really? Now I kind of wanted to see. Apparently it's like a massive day out. Like, I really want to go there.
Yeah, I think they've done a lot for the community. So I think it's good. Anyone in the local area goes and they get a good gate, and it's just generally quite a nice kind of atmosphere. And it's not too...
And they've done a lot of, like, their social media is pretty good. Like I had a look at their website, and they're sort of sponsored by Defected, which is like Defected are a sort of a music label, but they basically do loads of like house music events. In,
I think is Peter Crouch a part owner as well?
Is he?
I think so. Yeah, Peter Crouch part owns.
Oh, really?
I don't quite remember that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure actually.
I have to have a look. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I really want to go. I was saying to my mates, let's go to a game tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely.
But they only Ben was up for it, so I was like, there's no point us just going us two. So I am going to go to a game, but I was like, wow, I didn't realise how popular it is. Yeah. Kind of thing. It's nuts. But yeah, it's mad. It is mad. But non-league football is kind of fun because it's just, you go there, the tickets are cheap, the drinks are cheap kind of thing. You just have a laugh kind of thing.
It is like so different to obviously a Premier League game, which is maybe becoming a bit more...
the stakes are higher, obviously.
Yeah, the stakes are obviously higher, and I don't know, I feel like with TV and stuff like that, they're not trying to make it like American football, but they're trying to make it quite like... showy, commercial, Whereas non-league football is literally just a match.
Well, I think it's been like that for a while. To be honest. I think Premier League, especially in our lifetime, I think it's always been like that.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's getting more. I get what you're saying. It's more because the money's so big, kind of thing. So I get it, but there's pros and cons to it. I think it's good because for an entertainment value, it's really good. And you've got like Sky Sports News and TNT and Prime. Prime's another one.
Prime.
What else is it on? Is there another?
I think Netflix made a bid for Premier League rights.
Well, apparently, I heard someone was telling me. Apparently, this is the last year that Prime are doing Premier League for now.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Netflix picked it up because a lot of people don't realize that earlier this year, end of last year, they signed over $1 billion deal with WWE to do live sports, to do like WWE. Like it's going to be just on Netflix.
Yeah.
And then you've got like the
Jake Paul fight.
The Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. Look how much money they got for that. Like Jake Paul made like what 30 million, Tyson made 20 million.
I read. I'm not sure if you want to know more about this than me, but did Tommy Fury put out his fight?
Oh my god, ridiculous! So okay, so this is a really bad look for Tommy Fury. So Tommy Fury was scheduled to fight Darren Till.
His UFC fight
in January. Yeah, he's not in the UFC anymore, but.
Is he boxer or is he boxing background or?
No, he's got like he's a striker. He's got like a Muay Thai. That's his kind of style, like Muay Thai box. He's a good, really good striker. That's his strong point, Muay Thai essentially. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if you saw the press conference a few weeks ago. Where it all kicked off with John Fury and him.
I saw a little clip. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Darren Till was saying to Tommy. But they were arguing, saying, "Oh well, if I'm losing, I'll just kick you in the head," sort of thing. And he was like, "Well then,
just trash talking." Obviously.
Yeah. And he was like, "Well, that wouldn't be a real fight then. It wouldn't be a boxing fight. It'd be a real fight." And he said, "Yeah, in a real fight, I'd kick your head in." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he was, and he was like, "Listen, I could beat you with one hand if I really wanted to in like a real fight, but in a boxing match, yeah." But yeah, his excuse was, "Oh well, he's kept saying he's going to kick me in the head, so I've pulled out." And everyone's like. What? Like he's obviously not going to do that. Exactly, do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just a bad.
Well,
look.
If he did do that, he'd get disqualified and he'd win anyway.
Yeah, so I don't see what the plot is so bad. Look from Tommy Fury. I don't know what's going on with him. So weird. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, that fight. So I would have watched that. Do you know what I mean? But that's a shame, really.
He'll fight KSI next. Rematch. Tommy Fury.
Oh no, nobody. I mean, nobody wants to see that. I don't know if it's weird because would that influence of boxing? Because it's weird because Tommy Fury is actually an actual boxer.
Yeah.
But he doesn't fight very often.
No.
And some of his performances have not been very good. So to be fair, he beat Jake Paul.
Yeah.
He beat him. But then he's fighting KSI and he's like, it wasn't, to be honest, I think he lost to KSI.
Yeah.
And then it's just things like that. I don't know, like, really, if you're going to do the boxing thing properly, you need to be fighting regularly.
Do you think with the whole YouTuber entertainment kind of like influencer boxing, do you think it's made a bit of a gimmick of boxing in your opinion, or do you think it's been good for boxing? Or
I think
because I know some boxing traditionists,
boxing
this is making a mockery of our sport, aren't they?
I would say my whole thing on the influencer boxing thing is there's real boxing and then there's that, and I don't mean to say this stuff is scripted or this and that. Yeah. But what it does is that it gets eyes on boxing, like a younger crowd, and there's a market there. Where the influencers, if you're a Jake Paul, like Jake Paul is the best example. He's made so much money and he's done so well. And he's one of the biggest names in boxing. But if we take him out of the equation, when you look at someone like KSI, Logan Paul, I think HS Tiki Toki's got a fight. I was actually listening to the guy that he's fighting. I heard an interview the other day. HS, these guys, who's the other one? Like Salt Pappy, all of these like YouTuber kind of people. They are sort of the people that go in to watch these things are kids. The real boxing fans are not watching that anyway. No. They might watch Jake Paul versus, say, Mike Tyson. Or they might watch Jake Paul or KSI versus Tommy Fury or Logan Paul versus Dylan Dennis. People, they might watch that because they're fighting against names or retired fighters. But the influencer boxing thing is like for kids and the people that are fans of them. 100%. So I don't have a problem with it. And I went to watch KSI versus Joe Fournier at Wembley Arena last year, and everyone that was there were kids, like 14-year-olds and under. We only went because the guy that fought KSI was one of our dad's mates, so we were like, "Oh, let's just go and watch," kind of thing. So I don't really think it makes a mockery of boxing.
I think I don't think it makes a mockery of it, and I think it's obviously it gets eyes on it, but I think it must be tough if you're let's say a young amateur boxer, professional who's like, or just become professional who's boxed since they were like 8, giving your life to the sport, probably making, well, not even making money, but just giving your life to the sport, and then you see influencers that just come and because they've got their followers, earning millions when you've dedicated your life since you was 8, and they've just started it in the last 2 years. Well, I think that might be tough for them. But then also, they haven't gained the followers.
They haven't put in the work to become. The way I would see it is,
and also when I don't really like it when I know it's all just trash talk and it's like BS anyway, but it's when you hear like Jake Paul go, "Oh, I'm a real boxer. Oh, I am a boxer. I can win. I can beat Canelo." And do you know what I mean? It's just like don't take it that far. That's making a mockery of that.
But the thing is with Jake Paul, I used to think the same thing, but he's so smart because whether you love him or you hate him, whether you want to watch him win against Mike Tyson or you want to watch him win against Tommy Fury or whoever he's fighting, or you want to watch him, I can't wait for this guy to get knocked out.
Yeah, I would love him to lose.
You're paying to watch him, so it makes sense that everyone can say, oh, it's making a mockery of boxing, oh, it's this and that, but he's saying, he knows he can't beat Canelo. He knows he can't, he called out Beterbiev, and Beterbiev said, I want to fight you. Everyone's calling out. Dubois said, I'll fight him as well.
He called out McGregor as well.
He's always been calling out McGregor. So it's just like, he knows he doesn't.
Very clever,
He knows he can't, he's not going to beat these people in a fight. But he's smart because he winds everyone up like the boxing purists. The people that are his fans and like the kids that are watching YouTubers, they're like, oh, wait, I can't wait to watch him. So he is smart because I used to think this is so embarrassing. But now I'm like, you know what? He's actually really smart. And thing is, and I think Jake Paul's done it the best out of everyone. And also as well, I actually think he's pretty good for his level. And the thing is as well, another thing with Jake Paul is, you know, like KSI and Tommy Fury, so KSI and Logan Paul, for example, they might do it once every now and then for, it's like a gimmick kind of thing, like, oh, we'll fight another YouTuber or something. Whereas one thing you do have to give Jake, he is fighting fighters and retired fighters. You could say, oh, well, he fought an MMA fighter, or he fought a guy that was 50 years old, like Mike Tyson, but he's only had 7 or 8 fights. If you were trying to do the traditional route of becoming a boxer, when you're 7-0, 8-0, you're fighting guys who are, their records are, like, they've had 10 wins and 46 losses.
Journeyman.
Journeyman, so that you can get experience. So what's a harder test? To fight a retired MMA fighter who knows how to fight and has got experience.
Or journeyman who's did it for a paycheck.
And if Jake Paul fought Joe Bloggs from London that you've never heard of and knocked him out in 2 minutes, you'd be like, well, who cares about that? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it kind of works both ways, I think.
No,
and he's made so much money. Like he's made what? He made 30 million from that Mike Tyson fight.
Yeah, no, he's very.
I don't know how you can argue with that.
Entrepreneurial mind.
Yeah, 100%. So I don't really. Before I was a bit the whole influencer boxing thing. I was like, what is the point of all this stuff? But now I'm kind of like, fair enough. It's its own. It's its own category. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
But if I was Canelo, I would 100% take that fight because you got to think that's the easiest fight of your life and the biggest payday of your life. That would be ridiculous. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, definitely. It depends what his mindset is. If he thinks that it's a gimmick and it's kind of not worth it, then I'm probably sure he's probably made loads of money anyway. I mean,
he's one of the highest paid athletes in the world.
I mean, obviously you always want more money, but
yeah.
I mean, he might just think, you know what, I'm not going to lower myself to that. Like I'm just
maybe, but someone offers you 50 million quid. I think you're going to take it if you can.
And you know you're going to win.
You know you're going to win.
And it's easy. It's like literally a workout.
It's like when Mayweather fought McGregor.
Yeah.
He knew he was going to win. Like he knew that I can't lose.
Yeah.
And he made over $100 million for that fight. So it's like...
Maybe, everyone has a price, don't they?
Everyone has a price. Yeah. Everyone has it. Especially in the fight bit. And also as well, people understand with fighting, it's called prize fighting. Yeah. You are fighting for a prize. Yeah. You are fighting for money. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And also as well, those guys in boxing at the highest level of boxing, they're paid so well.
Yeah.
They're paid so well. Like Canelo probably makes at least $10 million a fight. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. If they did do that fight, it would be one of the best business moves that he could ever do.
Definitely.
And for Jake as well. Yeah. Because
well, we'll see. It might happen one day.
Maybe. I mean, did you watch this fight with Mike Tyson?
No, I saw the highlights, but I didn't.
Didn't look like it was very good. I mean, I was out, so I didn't watch it, and I'm kind of glad I missed it because I was just. It didn't look very good.
I just keep seeing the meme of Mike Tyson in the interview. That's always what's up.
Which one? Oh, when with his butt cheeks hanging out. Oh my god! I don't know what because I don't really understand the context.
You could say it was Netflix's first live event. They hadn't got the
yeah. I think that's what I was going to say. I think Netflix are going to start doing a lot more live.
That was their first live one, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, first live sporting event. They done like a live roast.
Oh, okay.
A few months ago, who was it? It was Tom Brady.
Oh, okay.
They done a live roast a couple of months ago. That went really well. I think it was the most watched thing ever on Netflix. And I think they're gonna start doing a lot more live stuff because it makes sense really. Because if you have Netflix, I think that's the reason why so many people watch that fight. If you're from an older generation, you're like, oh my god, Mike Tyson's fighting, and I wanted to knock out this kid. Or if you're a young kid, you're thinking, oh wow, Mike Tyson, and I don't have to pay for it. Everyone's got Netflix. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah. Netflix is so smart, so big as well. You watching anything at the moment on TV?
Snowfall still.
Oh, you actually started it?
Well, no, I'm on season 3 now. I'm addicted.
Oh my god, I didn't even realise you started it.
No, yeah, I started it.
Oh, it's so good.
I started it, then I had like a break, but now I'm like hooked now.
Oh, it's so good, man.
I think it's getting better. I think season 1 was okay, but now it's definitely...
Which part are you up to? Remind me.
I'm on the bit where...
What's Franklin up to?
So he's just flown to Panama with Arvi to sort out banking.
Oh, yeah. I love Arvi.
Yeah, he's a real one. So yeah, no, that's the bit I'm up to. But
oh, cool.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen next, but yeah.
Oh man, I love that show.
So good, yeah.
I binged that throughout the summer. It was so good,
it's a really good.
And it's mad that it's based on a true story.
Is it? Yeah. I knew that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, look it up after. But it's based on a true story, so you don't get any spoilers. But yeah, it's based on a real gangster from real life. But you know what's mad? The guy that plays Franklin, what's his name? Oh,
no, I'm not sure his name. He's a very good actor, though.
He's from London. That's
is he?
Yeah, he's from Brixton.
Oh wow.
Or is he from Peckham? He's from.
Okay.
I think he's from Peckham. But yeah, that's mad. He's English.
He's got good American accent.
Yeah,
Australian.
Yeah. I didn't. Damson Idris, that's his name.
Okay.
I think he's from Peckham.
Yeah.
He's either from Peckham or Brixton. But
okay.
The first time I watched, I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
He wasn't famous.
Okay.
That show made him famous. But yeah, I didn't realize he was.
Are you watching anything at the moment, or?
I'm watching a show called Fauda at the moment.
Okay.
It's about the Israeli Secret Service.
Oh yeah.
Versus Hamas, basically, in Palestine. So it's basically Israel versus Palestine.
Yeah.
And
real life documentary or?
No, it's not a documentary. It's like a drama.
Yeah, okay.
So it's based on what's happening now, but they started this show years ago.
Okay, yeah.
So I think it only finished last year.
Okay. Is that on Netflix or Sky?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's called Fauda, Fauda.
Okay.
And it's basically about the Israeli Secret Service and like the IDF versus like Hamas. So it's like Israel versus Palestine.
Yeah.
And I'm watching that now.
Okay.
It's sort of based on what's happening.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's happening right now, but that's been going on for years.
It's been going on for years.
Yeah, so that show, I think the first series came out maybe like 7 years ago, I want to say. 7, 8 years ago. But it's good. I'm watching it.
Yeah, I'll give that a go, definitely.
I downloaded this app because everyone at work was telling me to do this. It's called Letterboxd.
Okay.
And you can do shows as well, but it's mainly for films where you say you watched, for the first time, I don't know, same film, my mind's going blank. The Gentleman, for example. The Gentleman. You say that you watched it, you gave it like a rating out of like 5 stars, and then you write a review, and then you see your friends can follow you, and then you see what their recommendations are, and then you look at what films they're watching, and then you go,
So it's a bit like, have you heard of Goodreads of books?
No.
Okay, it's basically the same way you rate a book out of 5, give it a review, and then it'll give you recommended books, and you can follow your friends, what they're reading and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest apps.
Yeah.
And
I have heard of it, I think.
Because their videos always come up on my TikTok, so they've got this thing where when you make an account, you set up your account, and then you have to say your 4 favourite films ever. Yeah. Right? So you have to say your 4 favourite films ever.
What are your 4 favourite films?
I think I put down, Pulp Fiction was my number 1. Yeah.
It's quite a hard question on the spot, actually.
Yeah, Dallas Buyers Club, I think I would have up there. I think I would have... Oh, man, this is hard. I can't even remember. There's so many films. Yeah. I'm not even like a big film guy.
Yeah.
I think I'd have The Gentleman there.
Yeah.
And then number 4, maybe... I would say another Tarantino film, maybe like... I can't decide.
No, yeah.
What about you? I know it's a bit on the spot.
Shawshank Redemption is I've
never seen it. That's what I'm saying. There's so many films. That's why all my colleagues were like, "You need to do this app because there's so many films I haven't seen."
Okay. You haven't watched Shawshank Redemption?
No.
Oh, you definitely
haven't seen
that one.
Okay, so Shawshank.
Interstellar. Have you seen Interstellar?
Yeah, we watched it together actually.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interstellar.
I liked Interstellar, but I didn't think it was as amazing as everyone said it was. I
think it's really good. Yeah. That's one of my favorites. Ooh. Yeah, I would say.
I bet I know what yours is.
Snatch. I like Snatch.
Oh, Snatch is a great film. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Snatch.
I bet I know what your next favorite film is.
What is it?
Wolf of Wall Street. Is it actually?
No, it's not Wolf of Wall Street.
I love that film.
You do? Yeah, it is a good film.
Yeah.
I thought that was just a very kind of generic.
It is. Yeah. But, that's why I thought. That's why I thought it'd be yours.
No, yeah. It is a very good film actually. Yeah. No.
Have you seen Uncut Gems?
Yeah, I like Uncut
We watched
Gems.
that together as well.
Did we? Yeah.
A few years ago.
Alexander,
Yeah. Oh man,
He done another good one recently about a basketball player. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but it's about like the NBA and stuff.
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
a really good
Yeah.
one. He's a massive basketball
He's
player.
a massive. Apparently, he's really good.
Yeah,
like, really. He plays basketball every day.
Yeah, I think he just goes down like the local like park and just
and this does one-on-one.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should download the app and then we can look at what films that we can
definitely.
compare. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But I need to get into a lot of films that I haven't seen because like Sopranos, for example.
Oh, that's a good one of the best series.
Yeah, but obviously that's a lot of the stuff before it is like like those Italian gangster films. Like I'm assuming.
To be fair, The Godfather.
You've seen Godfather, right? Yeah. So like Godfather, Goodfellas. There's like
The Irishman. That's another one. Isn't it?
The Irishman.
That's a recent one.
That's a recent one. But yeah. But there's a lot of ones I haven't seen. Like, I haven't seen Heat. I haven't seen Casino. Q&A is another good one. I haven't seen any of those. I need to watch them. Yeah, so that's why I need to get, because I'm watching this series at the moment. I don't want to get distracted with a film.
Yeah.
So I want to finish this series, and then I'm going to start trying to watch like one film a week. Yeah. There's a lot of films that I need to watch.
I think I do prefer a good series though over a film, but I don't mind watching.
I like a good series.
I prefer TV
I think
series.
I watch series more often. I'd say.
Like The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. They're just unbelievable.
The Wire. You need to see The Wire.
Yeah, I started it. Yeah, I need to maybe watch that one.
The Wire is amazing. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Have you seen Homeland? Homeland's good.
Yeah, Homeland's good. Yeah,
Homeland's
Prison Break. They're all.
Yeah, these are all good series.
One I actually watched that I never thought I would like was obviously Game of Thrones. I know everyone says.
I was a bit like.
But I mean, someone said to me to watch it. And I was like, I don't like dragons, fairies.
Yeah, that's what kind of puts me off as well.
But to be honest, it is one of the best I've watched.
Really?
Like, yeah.
My dad's been telling me for years. It's one of his favourite shows. Yeah. He's like, you should watch it. But
I mean, like, you don't have to fight all that fantasy stuff. Yeah, it is really good.
Okay, I'll have a look.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be what I watch next.
Yeah.
I need to, as soon as I finish this Fowler, I've already got like maybe 10 episodes. I've got one series left. I think I'm just going to start binging like a lot of films kind of thing. Whilst I'm still off work. I still got like another couple of weeks off work. So.
Is that before you start your next role, is it?
Yeah.
Nice. Where's that? Is that based in London, is it? Or?
Yeah, so the office is in Camden, but it's kind of like in between where I'm like working from home and in the office. And then I think when we start filming, it will be on site at different places. So,
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, it should be good. Should be good. Yeah, man, it's flown by. Like, I remember this time last year, I was doing I finished Big Brother at middle of November. And I didn't work again until like mid-Feb.
Really? Yeah.
I didn't work for 8. It was nice to not. It is nice to not work, but then I like being busy.
Yeah.
Having a few weeks off is ideal for me. Then I like to get straight back into work. So I finished.
Is that what the kind of film, TV business is kind of like, where it
can be
a lot of contracting and
it's
so
hard to get for the most part it is. Like,
so you maybe doing a big project and then you have a few weeks and you've got to find the next project. Yeah. Is that what it's like?
A lot of it is like that. It's very because it's a freelance industry for them mostly. So there is a lot of where you're not working for a while. So it can be difficult. So it can be like that. So you're always thinking, when's my next job? When's this and that kind of thing. Obviously, my situation is kind of ideal because I don't have to pay rent. I haven't got kids to pay for or whatever. So it's kind of ideal in a way that I can just sort of go take these breaks. But then for other people who are
a bit older or
like they might have mortgages and stuff, they need to keep working constantly. So, but it's like, in a way, it's kind of like that in any industry.
Yeah, I guess.
If you're not at the very top, it's kind of like that in every. You need to keep working.
Definitely.
It's like there's a guy in the UFC who's a UFC champion called Pantoja. He's fighting this weekend. He's been the champion for like a year and a half now, but he won the title. He'd been in the UFC for years, but he won the title last year. He beat Moreno. But he was saying when it was like the pandemic and he didn't have any fights, he was like an Uber Eats driver for like a year. Yeah. And he had fought like a few months ago, but he needed money. So it's like he was doing Uber Eats and like doing deliveries and stuff because he just needed money. So it just goes to show in any industry that can happen. Yeah. There's people doing second jobs and stuff like that. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it's very competitive.
Yeah. No, 100%. It's tough, I think. Kind of similar to football where you are like living off 1 year, 2 years, unless you're at the top where you're signing a 6-7 year contract. You don't have to worry about money kind of thing, When you're living off 1 year, 2 year contracts, it's just so competitive all the time.
Yeah, so. Yeah, you just never know when it's going to end. You might get an injury or you might get this and that. So
exactly, yeah.
It's, unless you're at the highest level, it must be so nice when you're at the highest level. And even when you're young and you've made a certain amount of money, you never have to worry about money again. Obviously, you want to keep earning money.
Yeah.
But if you're a young player, for example, let's just say you're on 50 grand a week and you're on that contract for 3 years, you know if you never play football again after that, you still made more than 95% of
100%.
the whole population.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to think, if you made 50, let's do obviously before tax, 50 grand, so that would be 200 grand a month for 3 years. So that's 200 grand a month. So that'd be 2.4 million. Times that by 3, 7.2 million.
Yeah.
Take away 40%. Let's just say 3.8 million. You've made more money than 99.99% of the people in the country.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you actually wouldn't have to worry about money again.
Yeah.
And imagine you get even more money and you do another 2 years. You're thinking, wow.
100%.
You've made like at least 5 million not without trying, but you don't have to worry about it. It must be quite nice.
Yeah, no, definitely. But the fact that it's so competitive that's probably why they deserve it. Do you know what I mean? If you
I agree.
That,
listen,
like,
I want people to make as much money as you can. I think if you've gotten to top of any profession, you've obviously you can't. I mean, there are some instances where people can fluke it to the top with some things where you might know somebody or this and that, but for the most part, especially when it comes to sports, I think you've earned that sort of money and you deserve it. Do you know what I mean? I feel that's why it's good to see people get paid and to make as much money as they
100%.
can. Yeah. So if you're at the very worst, if you're like a fighter, you can always just fight Jake Paul.
Yeah. I might DM Jake Paul tonight and ask if he wants to fight. So,
my god. Yeah. It must be nice. He's made so much money as well. Must be nice to have all those millions just.
Yeah, I mean,
there.
That YouTube kind of scene. I mean, it's still big, but it's like I feel like it's with social media. There's always something new. Like there's TikTok stars now, isn't there? And then once you're a TikToker, there'll be another app probably in 10 years that'll be out, and then
it's mad.
It's always constantly changing. So
yeah, I mean, it's mad to think like how big KSI is, kind of thing.
Yeah,
like, I was watching him when I was like 14 in school. And he's like probably the most famous.
Does he make YouTube videos anymore? Does he? I
think so. I don't know, but he must be like one of the most famous YouTubers, most successful YouTubers ever.
100%. I think a lot of what him and Jake Paul they've done is they've realised that
a gap in the market.
They've got the following from YouTube, so they can do other things. Like he makes music, he does boxing,
ring to the
I know that's your favourite song.
Oh, I've never actually listened to that.
I know that's your Spotify Wrapped, but you decided to get rid of that.
It was all girls this year. I don't know what happened. That was funny, man. Anyway, the hour's gone already, so we're done, and I think Ben's going to come in the next 5 minutes. But thank you.
Perfect.
We'll do another one next time, and let me know when you're free, and we'll do another one.
Yeah.
All right, we're going for a break. We're back in 5 minutes. Bye. Okay, we are back here on Love the Boot Radio with Masai Lincoln and my friend Ben. Sam's gone and Ben's here. Finally, we can talk like UFC. How are you? You alright?
Yeah, not too bad today.
Is that who that?
No, this is from Ibiza.
Oh, where did you get that from? From why?
No, I got it from. It was just some random.
Was it the market? It wasn't the market, surely.
No, it was just some random shop. I just searched clothes shop.
Oh, okay.
Google Maps.
How was the work party you went to when you bumped into my cousin?
Oh,
that was so random.
I couldn't believe it.
It was so weird.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to talk to you about that later.
Yeah. Where was I? I was in the. I went to that thing that Lewis had.
Yeah, it's a shame I missed out on that.
Because you didn't come and Jack didn't come. I literally just drove there and drove back.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of glad, to be fair, because apparently it went on until like 4 in the morning. I was like, mate, that would have been a poor shout.
Yeah, the original plan was for me to go straight from.
That would have taken so long. Because if you was, what time was you planning to get to Lewis's?
I was planning to leave and get to Lewis's like 1 maybe.
Oh mate, that would have been the worst shout.
Skinniest shout.
I don't know why that was a terrible idea.
Well, I
sorry, I couldn't remember if I was recording on there. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries, check.
Oh yeah, I'm a div. Oh dear.
Oh dear, what are you like?
Yeah, lich. Oh man.
Is that a new trackie?
Yeah, do you know what it is? I got this. I was like, I want to get Umbro because it's British, and then because I always wear the black and grey, the grey one, and then the black one. I was like, I need to get a new one. Yeah. And this was only like 60 quid, so I was like, it's class.
For the audio listeners, it's
a navy blue Umbro, £60 from Umbro. So yeah, very nice.
Not sponsored.
ad hashtag. I should make like a reel where it's like I take Umbro and be like ad. Oh my god. Have you done any bets for UFC tomorrow?
No, I'm broke. I put the worst bet on of all time. So
What did you put on?
I put on under 4.5. No, over 4.5 in the Tottenham game.
Mate, I bet on over 5.5 in that game, but I only put £1 on.
On the Tottenham Fulham game. That's the one.
Tottenham Fulham. Oh, it was 1-1.
Yeah. Over 4.5 on that, so I'm broke until the end of the month.
Oh my god, the month's just started as well.
It's fine. That's what the credit card's for, man. It's like free money. It's monopoly money.
Which credit card do you have?
Amex.
I need to get one because how long do you have to pay it off? Because my credit card's really good, but the promotional period ends next month.
Yeah.
Meaning, so the first 18 months is 0%. Meaning, if you pay within 8 weeks, if I spent £100, I got 8 weeks to pay back that £100.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I can still do that, but then I get charged like maybe 2%, 3%. I know it's not a lot, but then for every like £100, you're spending an extra £3. It's just not worth having that sort of tax, essentially.
I know what you're saying.
I need to get that one. Can you send me the link to the one that you've got again?
Yeah.
I know you did it before. I can't find it.
Yeah, no worries. I'll do a referral fee. It's basically just monthly that you're paying it off.
Monthly? Oh, I need a bit longer than that. I'd like at least 6 weeks, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Yeah. It's in period. I don't know exactly how long it is, but it's at least a month.
Yeah, a month. I mean, I've already got a credit card like that. I want at least like 6 weeks or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You'd probably prefer Lewis's one that gives you points instead of my one that gives you cash.
I'm not really that fussed. I don't really care about all of that. I just want to have something where I can pay it off, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Are you coming to Barcelona for off summer?
Yeah, I'm waiting longer to book the flight. You know what I mean?
I booked the flight. Mine was like 70 quid.
Did you buy it straight away?
I bought it last week.
I don't want to go from Heathrow, man.
I'm not going for Heathrow. I'm not flying with them.
Oh, okay. I'm getting a different flight as well. Then.
I'm going Gatwick. You must be joking if you're going to go.
70 return.
Yeah. It might have been 80. It might have been 80. Actually, no. Tell a lie. It was. I think it was 47, and I think it was like £88 overall there and back. But I didn't put a suitcase on there though.
Yeah. I'm just going to buy it now. Then I can't even bother waiting.
Yeah, to save like £10, £15.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's class. I got it on Vueling or whatever it's called.
Epic. Yeah, I'll probably just buy it tomorrow. Why not?
Yeah, apparently it's going to be. I mean, the tickets aren't out yet. I think they come out in a few days, like next week. Yeah, I can't wait. Apparently it's going to be really good.
The tickets for the event.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been to Barcelona before?
No.
No, I went like nearly 10 years ago, but it's a class city. It's really good.
One thing I was worried about is they're a bit iffy towards tourists at the moment.
Oh yeah, they are. Barcelona are having this whole thing where they don't want any more.
Yeah,
Spain in general.
I understand like their point of view where they don't want more Airbnbs, but the fact that they're taking out on tourists, I'm like.
No, but I watched like a really long video on that. It's the reason why the tourist is kind of too much tourist is sort of not good for them. It's because it raises the prices of rent and groceries and stuff, and then there's a lot of things like the hospitality sort of industry is like under stress, and then there was like one of the other reasons was because is that there's too many there's just a lot of it's just a lot of, basically there's the supply is not helping the demand. There's this there's too much work but not enough sort of people to make everything work, essentially is what's going on.
I agree that they have a right to be annoyed.
Yeah,
it's like they're annoyed at the wrong people, don't you think?
Oh yeah, because if all the tourists left, they'd be like, oh well, why don't we have any money?
Yeah, so exactly. That's what I mean. Like, if your government you can just make better regulations when it comes to Airbnbs and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, true.
That's just, well, obviously I'm an ignorant person, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But,
do you know where I low-key want to go back to? Prague.
Yeah, that was just...
So, I think it'd be sick in the summer.
It's such a 24-hour place.
That
would be so good.
No, literally 24 hours. And it's so easy to get around as well.
Oh, it'd be so good as a group of like 10.
Oh, yeah, because I went to Lewis's last week. I spoke to... Dom Hedgley, and obviously they all went like a couple of years ago in the summer, and he was like, "Yeah, it was sick."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, I would like to go back, but I kind of want to go from now on. I want to go to places I haven't been before."
Yeah,
100%. But I would definitely go back there though.
Yeah.
Just for like a weekend, it'd be sick.
Yeah.
Go back to that 24-hour bar.
Yeah. I've got the bloke's number that we met.
Oh, that is so jokes.
Be like, we're in Prague again.
What was that name called again? What was the name of that place called again?
I can't remember. It was something.
We went into some booky gaffs in there.
Yeah, that was all weird. Do you remember the like emo place? Underground.
Oh, I didn't even want to step foot in it. I was like, you can if you like. I was like, get me out of it. Even our hotel was a bit booky. Like it was nice, but it was bare weird. Like.
Yeah. I mean, when we booked it, and it was called Attic Room.
I had no idea what the hell that meant, but I guess it just meant it was upstairs. It was kind of cozy.
It was pretty good.
The only annoying thing about Prague, the weather was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't mind like it being cold, but it was wet, and I didn't have, because I was backpacking. I didn't have like a big coat with me.
Yeah.
Oh, it was annoying.
That was frustrating.
Yeah.
That was awful.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. That's why when we go to Barca, I didn't bother by, because Lewis was like, I was like, how much was your flights? He was like, to me, I think he said it was like 230. Or like I think he said it was like 180. And I was like, mate, that's like an extra £100. And when I went to Rome, for example, I know I was already in Rome for a weekend, but even when we went to Milan and Prague, we were there for 6-7 days.
Yeah.
And we had things like jeans and this and that. Whereas like for Barcelona in the middle of the summer, you don't need jeans. And if it was to get really bad, I would buy a pair of jeans out there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like you're probably going to need 5 pairs of shorts, let's just say.
Yeah.
Underwear, t-shirts, and that's actually all you need. You don't need anything else. You actually don't need anything else.
Maybe sliders. I don't know if you said swimming trunks.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not that expensive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I could just buy them out there.
Yeah. That's not that expensive. It's really just not worth to spend an extra £100 for nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Really not. No.
Yeah, and actually you're right. Things like sliders, you can just carry that in your bag. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just not worth it.
Oh, I'm kind of excited for it now though. They were talking about doing another one in like in January or something.
Yeah, I think Lewis said he mentioned something about going to like Venice or something in March, but I'm working, so I can't go.
Yeah. Okay.
Otherwise, I would go, but I want to go to Sweden. That's another place I want to go.
Yeah.
Apparently, one of my friends, she's out there now. I worked with her on Big Brother. She's in Stockholm at the moment. She said it's unreal.
Yeah. When I think of Stockholm, I don't know what I think about.
What do you mean?
I don't really know what there is to do there. I don't really think.
Is it like partying, drinking kind of thing?
Yeah.
I want to go to Amsterdam as well. I've never been to Amsterdam.
Yeah. Amsterdam's a shout.
And it's a proper touristy place.
I would go back to Amsterdam.
Oh, you've been there before?
Yeah. Amsterdam is okay.
Where else would you want to go, like cities-wise, that you haven't been to before?
Budapest.
Budapest apparently sick. Yeah.
Budapest I'm down for. I'm genuinely down for. I kind of want to go outside of Europe at one point.
Well, yeah, but that's just so expensive. Do you know, to go into Europe's just so cheap. Do you know what I mean? If I had money, then obviously I would. I'd go to like America, but yeah. You should go to Rome. Rome's so good.
Yeah, I do want to do it eventually.
Way better than Milan. And I liked Milan, but it wasn't that amazing.
No.
Yeah, Rome's so good. And I was only there for a weekend, but it was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why I talk about going outside of Europe, going somewhere like Morocco in like March, it would be so hot.
Yeah, it would be, to be fair.
And that's the only place you're going to go where it's going to be hot in March.
What, in March? No, Spain's boiling in March.
Really?
Yeah, Spain, Italy, Turkey, these places are really hot in March.
Yeah, I can imagine Turkey being hot.
Spain is boiling in March.
Yeah.
You know Seville is the hottest city in Europe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's even hot now. Even in Spain right now, it's like 18 degrees in November. I'd go to, I want to go to Seville because I've never been there. I've actually never been to Madrid either. Portugal, I've never even been to Portugal. I'd go to Lisbon, Porto. So many cities I need to go to be honest.
Too many.
I know.
Many to count.
If I had money though, I'd go to America.
You should see me at work when I'm bored of working.
Skyscanner.
I'm sat at Skyscanner just doing random places. I'm like, I'll go to Leon.
Yeah. The best thing is when you go on Skyscanner and you put in say Gatwick and you just go anywhere.
Cheapest one. I was like, I'll go to Dublin for £4.
Yeah. I'll swim in the ferry for like 20 minutes and then go get a Guinness halfway. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm so tempted to do that though as a one-off. Just go there early in the morning, get like 10 pints of Guinness, and then go home the same day.
To be fair, you could easily go to Dublin because it's like not even a half an hour flight, and it's cheap. It's so cheap. It's just I'd do that. And do you remember when we went to Prague and we were in that Irish? That's actually probably the best Irish pub we went into. What was it called again?
I don't remember. Londoners.
No, that wasn't the Irish pub. That was like the English pub we went into, but. There was a few, but you know, the last one we went into was called the Dubliner.
Yeah,
but
I remember.
The one before that,
I remember.
I'm talking about the one where, not that one though. I mean the one before.
About the one where we were watching the
Champions League goals and it had and the Irish bloke was chatting to us. Remember?
Yeah.
I want to go to that one again. And remember, the bloke in there was an Irish guy, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, you lads should go to Dublin. It's proper good now." Yeah. And I was like, "Yeah, it sounds good." But that Dubliner, do you know what's mad? On that last one that we were in.
Yeah.
I have a picture of you and me in there, and it's on my Hinge. Some girl matched with me on Hinge a few weeks ago. She was like, "Oh, by the way, is that the Dubliner in Prague?" I was like, "What?" She was like, "Oh, I went there like last year." I was like, "Yeah, how the hell did you know that?"
Really epic,
I was like, "That is mental."
Oh, that is actually epic. I want to go back. Take me back.
Yeah, that pub was class.
Yeah, I promise. It was such a good shout from you when you were like,
we were meant to do a whole week in Milan. Do you remember? I was like, "Yeah, let's just not cancel our flight."
Yeah.
Because I was like, we spent £30 on the flight. Let's just book another one.
That was
we would imagine if we was in Milan for a week and we were far out. We were on the outskirts as well.
We would have made the best of it, but we made like 6 out of 10 holiday into a 9, I'd say.
Oh yeah.
Just from that one decision, that was such a class shout.
That was so good. Oh my god.
Good shout from you.
I want to go Prague again.
Take me back.
Take me back.
It's actually going to depress me.
Low key, I kind of want to. I feel like now that I think about it, maybe we should go back to Berlin. Maybe Berlin was actually good, but Lewis just planned it terribly.
I was talking to someone, I can't remember.
Because everyone says Berlin's amazing.
Yes, somebody who's just joined my work. He said that he's been to Berlin, and I was like, it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And he was like, I can understand why. He said he knows somebody there. And the person that was taking him around saying, if you came to Berlin on your own, you would not have a good time.
Yeah.
But it's because you need to be there with girls.
And people that know the city. Yeah.
People that know the city. Otherwise, they just treat you like a tourist.
Yeah, because another thing as well, I didn't dislike Berlin, but you know, what I noticed was in the day, I had the most amazing time. Like the beer gardens, and the food was nice, and they had everything there. It was like being in London in a way, kind of thing. And they had the good transport. But what I didn't like is, not that I'm fussy about where we go out, but where we did go, it wasn't amazing. No. It wasn't like what people describe Berlin like. Yeah. And I feel like if we was to go again, we have to plan it more properly, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And I think we'd have a better time. Because in a way, Berlin and Prague are quite similar, but in a way, Berlin's more cosmopolitan and it's more sort of, how can I put it, modern than say Prague. It's more like diverse kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
So I think we would have a good time if we went back, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the right word, because it's not like a negative thing about Berlin, but it's the way like in Prague it felt
for
like
everyone.
They were much more welcoming. Not
like,
welcoming. That's
like
not the right word.
I know what you mean. Sometimes the nightlife in Berlin basically was a bit exclusive.
That's the way exclusive. Because it's not a knock on the city, but that's just how they are.
Yeah, I don't know why that is, kind of thing.
Yeah.
They didn't seem that bothered about tourists, kind of thing.
Yeah, no.
Whereas
really
Prague,
don't.
it was like, oh, we love tourists. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I felt so welcome.
But I wouldn't mind maybe going back to. I wouldn't mind going to like another German city, maybe like Munich or something like that, maybe. But where did we say? We just said it now. I'd like to go to. We just said it.
Was it Budapest?
Yeah, but not there. It was Amsterdam. I want to go to Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I feel like you can't go wrong, even if you don't plan anything. You can just walk around and find everything there.
Yeah. Place is weird, but yeah, I would. It's a funny meme, but I actually ended up doing it. I was like, why did I do that? Going to Anne Frank's house.
Oh no! Yeah. I've heard stories where it was like and there's like a big waiting list, and then you're queuing to watch like a girl's house. I'm like, what is the point?
It's genuinely just a house.
Yeah, like
the biggest waste.
I might make that best.
Oh,
where was that again? In Amsterdam. Yeah. Oh god. I wouldn't be doing that in the first place, to be honest. But yeah, Amsterdam's definitely on the list. There's so many good cities that you can just go to when you think about it. Yeah.
I know there's going to be a time where I'm just fed up. I'm saving up my annual leave because I just want to. When I'm talking about the Skyscanner, I know there's going to be a time I'm going somewhere. I don't care.
Yeah.
Going to Skyscanner, getting the cheapest flight, and just going somewhere random. I've got to do it soon.
Do you know what would low key be a shout? If you did this, if you planned you see how we're going to Osasuna in Barcelona?
Yeah.
Do you know what you could do? Because you know Barcelona's right on the coast.
Yeah.
And you know from Barcelona to Ibiza, it's like a 30-minute flight. You could literally do a few days in Ibiza by yourself. I'd even come with you. Like you could go to like High Amnesia and like Ushuaia.
I'll go Pikes. You can come up.
Yeah, I might come to that. We could literally go out there and then literally fly and meet everyone thingy. Or go to Barca and then finish in Ibiza and then come home.
We'll be finished.
That'd be so sick.
I would 100% do that.
I'm actually down. You know what? Actually, now that I think about it, I could actually do that because I should be finishing a job, coming straight to Barcelona.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like after the festival's done, we've got like 2 days there where we're just chilling.
We can relax.
So we could actually, on that last day, fly to Ibiza and then just have a few nights there and then come home. Oh my God, that'd be so good.
That'd be so good.
We could even plan it where we just have a few days doing nothing, chill out, go to like for a nice meal, go to the gym, then go like hard. You know what I mean?
Oh, that would be so good actually.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so down.
Oh,
do you know what? I was speaking to Dom yesterday. Last week, Dom Hedgley. He was like, you should go in a hostel. He said when he was in Prague, he said, I was like, yeah, but then you're like with a bunch of random. He's like, nah, it's sick. He was like, you meet people and everyone's just drinking and whatever. Yeah. And I was like, maybe. But when I went to someone's hostel in Prague, And it was nice. I didn't know you can get hostels where you don't have to share stuff.
Yeah.
That would be better, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe we could look into that next time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's cheap. It's cheap. Do you know what I mean?
I would 100% do that. I think the standards of hostels has got better as well. It's not how you think it would be.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait to go on holiday.
Do you know what I can't wait for?
What?
Shavkat.
Do you think he's gonna win?
No.
Do you think Gary's gonna win?
I do.
I said the same thing. And he's a big underdog as well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Shavkat won, obviously, but I think the odds are way off in my opinion. Shavkat's like 1.3, 1.25 or something like that. Gary's like 4.2 because I've bet.
Oh yeah, okay.
I got a £5 free bet on Gary. Yeah, and that's another thing. Quinn bet only gave me a £5 free bet. They didn't give me any spins either.
I didn't realise it's the way that I've read it. It's you have to if it's as you said because you're in profit.
Oh, but they didn't give me 10 free spins either.
Yeah, they mugged you right off.
Well, I mean it's good because I'm in profit, but still, so jarring.
I'll see if I can find the free spins because they're a bit.
I looked on the casino, there's nothing there, and I even went on like the free bets bit. There's nothing there, so I can show you after. Yeah, I didn't get anything. It's so jarring.
Yeah, they've actually mugged it.
Mate, they actually have it. So.
I love QuinnBet though. I love QuinnBet.
The app's actually alright to be fair. It's actually not bad at all.
Yeah, I'm going to if it's alright with you, I'm going to do a PayPal with you. I'm going to get some money off my credit card. I'm lumping on UFC tomorrow.
Yeah, go for it. What are you thinking? I think, do you know how I kind of fancy Aljo?
I think so.
And he's an underdog as well.
I can't believe he's on the pre.
Oh, the UFC actually hate him and they hate Mosar. Because to be fair, the only justification I can see with that, even though I disagree, is that Mosar, 18 fights. Sorry, he's had like 8 fights in the UFC. He's not finished anyone.
Right.
And I guess they might be thinking, oh, 2 wrestlers, it's going to be boring. But usually when 2 wrestlers fight each other, it's an exciting fight.
They're going to stand up.
And Mosar, even though he's never had a finish in the UFC, he's had finishes before UFC, his fights aren't boring. He's never just like he doesn't just hold someone down and sit on them. He's he's mixing it up. So
as long as you're trying to finish someone, I don't mind wrestlers. It's when wrestlers are just sat on top of someone, you can tell they're not trying to finish it.
Yeah.
That's what frustrates me.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's because the whole card is actually pretty stacked, but it's a strange one to put on the main card, I think. I would have swapped it for either the Bryce Mitchell fight or maybe the Nate Landwehr fight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it should.
Because he's fighting Kron Gracie, who's just going to try and do like a jiu-jitsu match with him, which is just, I don't know, it's a weird one.
It's going to be very strange.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it just looked so weird when I was looking through the card and I'm going, okay, this guy's fighting, this guy's... And I'm going, wait, it's Aljo versus some bloke who's 18-0. Like, what's going on
And
there?
you know, and people know, Mosar's basically one fight away from a title. I mean, he's, eternally one fight away from a title shot. But he's really good, so... Yeah. Did you see they booked Islam versus Arman Sarukian rematch?
Is that actually happening?
In January, yeah. And on the co-main event, they booked Merab Dvalishvili against Umar Nurmagomedov. Oh my God. So it's Georgia versus Dagestan and Armenia versus Dagestan.
I can't believe the fight is actually happening, the Merab fight. I thought they were going to try and... as everyone was saying, he's ducking the fight.
I never thought he was ducking him.
Didn't seem like
Nah, I mean, I get why people said that, but it's not up to him. People say, oh, this guy's ducking this. It's never, unless you're like John Jones, McGregor, you don't really have a say in who you're going to fight. Yeah. The UFC says you're fighting this person. Yeah. You can either agree or disagree, but they can't make you, like they base, essentially, I know they can't make you fight, but essentially the UFC decides who you're fighting.
Yeah. You
can't say, oh, I'm fighting this person, unless you're like...
Because they would just say, all right, fine, you're not fighting.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't understand that. He obviously was saying he'd rather fight Yan and O'Malley, which makes sense because they're easier fights on paper, and obviously O'Malley's like a big name kind of thing.
Do you think there'd be more money in those fights?
Yeah, I think there'd be more money definitely in an O'Malley fight. A Yan fight, I don't know if there'd be more money in it, but he dominated Yan already. So to be honest, I'm glad Umar's getting the shot. I think if he wasn't related to Khabib, he would have to win. He'd probably have to win 1 more fight or 2 more fights, I think. Yeah. But he is, and it's not his fault that he's got this shot. Do you know what I mean? If you got an advantage, you should use it. But yeah, I'm just glad this fight's happening because I feel like Umar's even not just because he's Khabib's cousin. I think he's as good as everyone says he is.
When I watch him fight, though, I don't feel as impressed.
Really?
Like for example, when obviously you watch Khabib and it's like this guy can't lose. When you watch Islam, you're like this guy is one of the best ever. When I watch Umar, I don't think...
Well, Umar's really young. He's a lot younger than all of them.
Yeah, which is why...
And also as well, I would say arguably he's got better striking than both of them. He's like...
That's not saying much. Like Islam striking
is really good, but he's like... If you watch Umar's thing, he's not like spamming takedowns. He's sort of bouncing around like a karate style and he's throwing kicks and he's knocking people out with head kicks and He's really good. Like he's really, really good.
Yeah.
But Umar, it's basically the immovable object versus what's the
What is
Oh,
that? What
man.
is the saying?
Immovable object versus the.
That's gonna annoy me.
That is gonna. It's annoying me already. Versus the unstoppable force.
Yeah.
So they both. That's why I think it's gonna be an amazing fight because no one's gonna dominate anyone in wrestling because they're both that good at wrestling, and Umar's a freak. Like he's a genuine freak of nature. So I can't wait. I'm so excited for this one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good.
And Arman Islam is amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the first fight, but that was Arman's debut in the UFC in 2019.
And it was a close fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in Moscow, and he took it on short notice, and he done really well.
But the thing is, it's not just like he's improved. They both improved.
They both improved. Yeah, Arman's younger than Islam, obviously, but yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be so good. Can you imagine it? I think Arman's the only guy that can beat Islam.
Yeah,
but
I remember you saying that a long time ago.
I was saying this years ago. I think he's the only guy that can beat Islam. However, I still think I still edge towards Islam. It's just he's so good. It's hard to bet against him.
Yeah, but you want Islam to lose.
I like Islam. I actually have no problem with him being. I like dominant champions as well. But
do you?
Yeah, I don't mind a dominant champion. Like
when
they're the best as well.
If he's going to move up and fight, I'm up for it. If he moves down, I'm bored about that.
Who? He can't move down.
He could move down, couldn't he?
Who? Islam. He's no way he can move down.
Do you not think so?
He could barely make 55. There's not a chance he can move down.
Oh no, sorry, that's not. I meant he fights the person in the division below.
Ilia Topuria.
Yeah, that's.
So you're saying if Topuria came up?
That's what I meant.
Yeah, I think that could happen. I think Islam wants to go up to 170, but he can't because Bilal's the champion because they train together and they're friends.
I hate that.
So fair enough. I think
let's
say Shavkat was to beat Gary and then he beats Bilal, then he would go up to 170.
That's really.
Or if Leon had beaten Bilal, I guarantee you Islam would have fought Bilal. Fought Islam.
Obviously, I would watch it, but I'm not really that interested in Islam Topuria.
Oh, I would be. Even though
I would watch it, but I'd be like, come on.
But Topuria is really good. The only problem is he's just so much smaller than him.
Yeah,
but he's ridiculous. So good. His striking is so good, and his wrestling is so good.
Do you remember that?
That's his best skill. People don't realize how good his wrestling is.
Do you remember that clip of what's his name? The bloke that John Jones is ducking. Aspinall. He when he was talking about if I fought Pereira, I'm just gonna run at him and take him down. That's just what I think about what's gonna happen in the Topuria.
No, it wouldn't be that simple because obviously you don't realize that's before he came into the UFC. Everyone was talking about he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and remember he's Georgian. He's from the same place as Marab. They can all wrestle. It's not like people from Dagestan are better wrestling from people from Georgia. They're wrestling. It'd be neutralized.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be as simple as and also when you're a really good wrestler, it's not just someone's just going to take you down easily. It doesn't happen. Look at when Islam fought Volkanovski. Volkanovski's an amazing wrestler. He couldn't just take him down. And when he did, Volkanovski got back up. And arguably, Topuria is a better wrestler. He's a better wrestler than Volkanovski.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be that simple kind of thing.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be that simple. I do think Islam would win because he's bigger and better, and he's in his prime. But it would be interesting. It would be 100%.
As I said, I'd watch it, but I don't think I'd be as interested.
Oh, I would love that fight.
In him.
And Topuria wants it. Topuria wants that fight. I think Islam would. I feel like if he beats Arman Sarukian and Bilal's still the champion, I think Topuria will be next for Islam. Yeah. So we'll see. But if Arman somehow pulls off the win against Islam, that would be huge. That'd be so big.
Do you know what's interesting? How we've been talking about UFC all this time, and we've got a title fight tomorrow. And we haven't even mentioned it.
Yeah, we did.
Pantoja, we didn't.
Oh, did we not? Yeah. It's because originally the main event was Shavkat Bilal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Kaya Sakura, he was really good in Ryzen, but obviously a lot of UFC fans don't really know who he is, and a lot of them have not seen. I mean, I've seen Sakura fight from highlights and stuff, but even me, I haven't watched a lot of him.
Apparently, he's got one of the most views on YouTube.
Oh, he does. I think he's the most out of all MMA fighters. He's got the most views on YouTube out of all of them combined. Yeah. So he's got a whole country behind him. That's why I think secretly the UFC want him to win.
Yeah.
Because it's new blood and he's a big star already in Japan. Yeah. And obviously Japan is a massive market. That's where MMA kind of started as well. Do you know what I mean? That in America. Pride back in the day was the biggest organization in Japan and in the world. So they would want. I think they would prefer him to win.
Definitely.
And if you remember, it was like a couple of months ago, Brandon Royval, who last fought for the belt, and he beat Brandon Moreno. He fought this guy called Tatsuro Taira, who was undefeated, Japanese guy. He was young, but he's like a next big star. But he lost. They must have been thinking, wow, could you imagine if we get Taira to win this fight, Akora to win that fight, and then we do Japan versus Japan in like Tokyo or something? That would have been huge. That would have been
like the biggest
fight my
ever.
God. So I think, the UFC would secretly want Asakura to win.
Yeah,
that would be huge. It's going to be a great fight, I think. But I think I'm leaning Pantoja.
Because they're struggling, well, not struggling, it's actually a lot better than it used to be.
Oh,
in my opinion, I mean, the lower weight classes.
Yeah, 125. It's better than it used to be, but when Cejudo was champion, they was thinking about getting rid of it when Mighty Mouse was there.
Yeah.
And then we had a few years where it was amazing when you had Figueiredo and Moreno for years.
They fought like 4 years.
They fought four times. That was some of the best. The first fight especially, one of the best fights I've ever seen. But I think my favourite one...
I don't really remember the fourth. I remember the second and third.
The fourth one, we watched it together. It was in Brazil last year, and it kind of ended early because it was like a doctor's stoppage because of his eye or something like that.
That's probably why I don't
But
remember.
the first fight was it was in lockdown. It was December. It was in lockdown, and it was one of the best fights I've seen. It was one of the best ever fights I've seen. 4 years ago it was. They're beating the crap out of each other. And then the second fight, Moreno tapped him. And then the third fight was like the first fight, but in front of a crowd. It was one of the best fights I've seen again.
Mental.
Yeah, they had those fights. They saved the flyweight division, and then so it's going to be exciting to see what's next in that division. So I love Pantoja, and I wouldn't mind if he won, but I would kind of want Asakura to win just to make it more exciting because Pantoja's beat Moreno. I think he's beaten Moreno twice. I think he's beaten Royval twice. He's beaten everybody. He's beaten Perez. There's nobody he hasn't beaten. So I kind of want to see something new just to shake it up.
Then there's no way he's going to like change weight class. Do you think?
He said he would. To be fair, he said that because apparently he wants to fight O'Malley because he was saying when O'Malley was champion, he said they did sparring a few years ago, and O'Malley was saying that he beat him up, and then Pantoja said, oh, he dropped him or he beat him up. So they got like a little thing. I don't know. Maybe he would. I don't know. It might be a bit small.
It would have been alright if O'Malley was still champ, but there's not really much point in doing
that. 135 is, they've got so many guys. Like, it's just a shark tank of people. That's another division. A few years ago, it was the top. There was a lot of guys when you had like Dominic Cruz and Dillashaw and Cody Garbrandt, but there wasn't much underneath that. Now, even the guys that are unranked, it's just the list is just a murderer's row of fighters. You know what I mean? So 135. I think that's probably the deepest division in the UFC.
As soon as they sort out this mess in the heavyweight,
I think Jones and I don't know why everyone's getting so thinky. Jones and Aspinall will fight 100%.
You think so?
I think so.
You think it's all just a marketing stuff?
I think Jones. At first, I don't think Jones wanted to fight him. When when Tom became the interim champion, I don't think Jones had any. This time last year, Aspinall was not on Jones's radar, even when he became the champion. I think now. Jones, the UFC are not going. He's not going to retire. He clearly wants to make some more money, which is fair enough. And the UFC are not going to let Jones fight anyone else until he fights Aspinall. So he wants to fight Pereira.
Unless he vacates the belt.
But he's not going to vacate the belt.
You don't think so?
No, because then you make less money, and he's not going to do that. So I think what will happen is he will fight Aspinall, and then I think if he lost to Aspinall, he would rematch him, and then if he beats Aspinall, he'll either retire or he'll fight Pereira at heavyweight. That's what I think he'll do. So like a super fight, it's a one-off. So that's what I think will happen.
You don't think he'll try and wiggle his way into being a boxer for a bit? Try and make some
No, because he can't box.
Yeah.
It's a bit different with Ngannou because he's a boxer and he's got punching power. Jones is not a power puncher and he's a mixed martial artist. Like he's not a boxer. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's striking is not his. He's a wrestler essentially that can do everything, but he's not. He's got good kicks and he's got good jab and stuff, but he's not a boxer. He wouldn't. I mean, he could make money from boxing, but would you
probably make more money from boxing?
Well, he would. But what I'm trying to say is, no one. You know, why Ngannou made so much money in boxing is because you know that he could knock out anyone. Yeah. McGregor, you know that he could knock out. He's got the hands. He can box. Jones, he doesn't knock people out with power. He doesn't really finish people. He chokes them and he can do kicks but he's not. You know that he's never just going to knock you out with a right hook. It's just not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? So the interest is not there. No one's saying, let's see Jones versus Anthony Joshua.
I could see the market in there. I can imagine them saying all of these clips of, if you lock these two in a room, Jones gets out.
Yeah,
Jones
but then
gets
that's
out of that room.
Yeah, but
he's the baddest man on the planet.
He is. I think he is the baddest man on the planet. But in a boxing match, it just wouldn't be, because we've seen it so many times. The MMA fighter versus the boxer.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't make any sense.
No, you're right.
If I wouldn't mind even still watching Ngannou box, because I know he's got that equalizer of he can just knock you out. Did you watch it when he fought Tyson Fury?
Yeah.
So, for example, when he knocked him, I was like, oh my God. I actually couldn't believe that was happening.
No.
Whereas I don't think Jones could knock out any top heavyweight. I don't think he could knock down even, sorry. Yeah. I don't think he could drop Dillian White or Wilder or Parker or Joshua or Fury or Usyk. I don't think he could drop any of them. Yeah, actually, I don't think he could drop even cruiserweights. I just don't think he could, because he's not a good enough boxer and he doesn't have that power. So I don't see it. Yeah. He's gonna make. That's why I think these fights will happen with. I think he'll fight Tom in this. I think he'll fight him International Fight Week, and then I think if he wins against Aspinall, he will fight Pereira next, and then he'll retire.
Speaking of, just because we were talking about boxing, I thought there was some big fights that were meant to be happening.
They are. When?
Well, that's what I'm asking you.
In 2 weeks it's Fury Usyk rematch.
Okay, when's Dubois?
Dubois is fighting in February, so it's one of the most stacked boxing cards ever. You've got Boatsi's fighting, Callum Smith's fighting, you've got Joshua Parker versus Dubois, you've got Shakur Stevenson's fighting Floyd Schofield, and then you've got the rematch of Dmitry Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev.
Okay.
Which is just one of the most stacked boxing. A lot of people are saying this is the most stacked boxing card in history. So it's going to be good. I can't wait, especially for the main event. It's going to be good.
What about Joshua?
I think Joshua. You know what's funny? I was speaking to someone about this the other day. No, today in the gym. I think Anthony Joshua, because I think what I think was going to happen originally. Obviously, he lost to Dubois in September. What I thought was going to happen was he wanted to rematch Dubois, because if someone knocks you out,
that's what I thought was going to happen.
You'd want to rematch him, but what's happened now is Dubois taking this fight with Parker, because I was kind of thinking, if I'm Dubois, I've got options, but if that was me, I'd be kind of thinking, well, I might as well wait for the winner of Usyk Fury.
Yeah.
And they're fighting in December, but then he's probably thinking, you know what? Well, if Fury, I only thought about this the other day, but if Fury beats Usyk, in a couple of weeks, they're obviously going to do a trilogy.
Yeah.
Which will be, let's just say Fury beats Usyk in December. The trilogy will be in May, let's just say, right? And then it's done after that. So that means if Dubois was to fight the winner of that fight, that means he wouldn't be fighting for over a year. And he's young.
You might disagree, but I feel like if Fury won the trilogy, he might say,
I'm done.
I was going to say, he might say, I want to fight Joshua and then I'm done.
Oh, I think he fights Joshua regardless. Yeah. I think if he loses to Usyk, he'll say, you know what, let's just do one last money fight. AJ versus Thing, and also people will be more interested in it because Fury's lost a few, Joshua's lost a few. It's not like if Joshua keeps losing and Fury keeps winning, the interest isn't there as. I mean, I'd watch it anyway, but so that's what I think's gonna happen. Dubois probably thinking, you know what, I'm 27, I got loads of time, I can fight Parker, and then let's just see what happens there. Yeah. I think AJ is now gonna see what happens with I think if Fury loses to Usyk, AJ Fury is next. Whereas if Fury beats Usyk, I think there'll be a trilogy fight. They'll settle that in the summer, and then Joshua's probably thinking, well, if they do a trilogy, I can fight Dubois.
Yeah.
Or Parker, because Dubois and Parker are fighting each other. He's already beaten Parker like years ago. He's probably thinking, okay, I'll fight the winner. Ideally, it will be Dubois. So I think it will work itself out. But yeah, that's probably what's going on.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So it will work out.
I think it will work out. So either way, it's kind of a win-win for like the fans, because I think if, like we said, we're either going to get the trilogy fight with Usyk Fury, or we're going to get the AJ Fury fight that we've wanted for years. And then maybe if Usyk beats Fury, if Usyk beats Fury, then I think we'll also get, and if assuming Dubois beats Parker, we'll get a rematch of Usyk versus Dubois.
Yeah.
Which I think would be massive.
I do wonder how old Usyk is though.
What do you mean?
I can't remember how old he is and how
I think he's 34.
Okay.
Why?
He's slightly younger than I thought. I thought he was like 36 or something.
But even 36, he's still young for like a heavyweight boxer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still young, and he was a cruiserweight before, so he's going up in weight. So it's not a strain on his body. Do you know what I mean? So and you got to think he's undefeated. He hasn't taken a lot of damage. He has never been knocked out, never been dropped. Well, he's been dropped. I mean, he might have been dropped, but yeah, he can keep fighting for a while, I think.
I mean, we were saying that Dubois dropped him, weren't we? And he was saying,
no, yeah, I think Dubois won that fight. Yeah. I think Dubois won that fight, 100%. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, boxing, the big fights are getting made, which is good, finally. Not completely. I think if you look at the lighter weights, like Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, these guys aren't really fighting each other and fighting as often as we would like, which is a bit frustrating. But
I don't know how true it was, but Gervonta Davis was saying that he's going to retire.
Yeah, I saw that clip because he's fighting in January, I believe, or February. He was saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to retire at the end of next year," but I don't think so. He's still young. He's got millions to make, and boxers always say they're going to retire, and even when they do retire, they always come back.
Always come back. Yeah.
So I'm not too worried about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Did you watch the fight? I don't know if you saw it last week. Sonny Edwards fought Yusuf Galal, or Yalai Galal, whatever his name is, and he was getting, as soon as the fight started, because they've got a real history. Like their families were like rival boxing families, and like his older brother fought his older brother, and then they were both in contention to fight for Team GB at the Olympics, and they chose Galal instead. So then Sonny Edwards went pro. He became a champion. He's had like nearly 25, 30 fights already. And he's one of the best guys at that weight division. Anyway, they finally fought last week, but it was like a neck and neck fight.
Right.
Anyway, and there was a lot of hype, their family against this family kind of thing. And from the first round, Galal just was beating the hell out of him. I was like, oh, he might get stopped in the fight. He was just, and he wasn't defending him. I was like, what is going on? And then second round started, he still got a few punches off, but then again, he started the barrage. He was getting battered. I was like, what is going on? And then in between the second round, he was like, oh, I don't want to be here. I don't think I want to be here. And I was like,
I saw that.
Did you see it? Did you saw it? And he was like, I'll be real, I don't want to be here. And he was like, his coach was like, what are you talking about? Yeah. And then he was trying to wake, and then he sort of came back a bit, but then he just carried on for like, he carried on till about the 7th or 8th round, and then the ref stopped it. It was just like one of the most bizarre things. And he's only 28.
Yeah.
He's won everything. One of the best fighters in that weight class, and well, he is. He was champion. And it was just bizarre. I was like, what is going on?
That's
like
such a strange one.
Yeah, it was strange. Like and then he retired after the fight.
No.
He's only 28. Yeah, he retired.
Like a mental block or something. I don't
know. Like, I saw a lot of people say, because he fought Rodriguez I think last year or whatever, and he was saying, I think that fight took a lot out of him, and he's got miles on the clock kind of thing. And even though he's young, but he was just like, a lot of people were saying, yeah, I think he's just caught up with him kind of thing. But yeah, it was so strange.
So strange.
But yeah, that other guy though, Galal, he was good, man. He was good, and he won gold for Team GB at the Olympics. Like the last one, not the last one, the one before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was strange, really strange. I was like, what am I watching?
28 years old.
But he's made a lot of money, so fair play to him.
Yeah.
And he's only lost 2 fights? It's only his second loss of his career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's painful. Hopefully, as you were saying earlier, they always come back.
They always come back. Fighters always come back. Because if you've been boxing, you're fighting your whole life. To not do it anymore must be strange. Yeah. And to be just training and not working towards a goal must be like, well, what's the point?
Hopefully he just doesn't Adesanya. He's just like, I'm just not going to do anything for like...
Yeah, if he does do that, you'd rather, like Adesanya.
I'm just going to stay out the spotlight. I'm not going to train as much. I'm not going to fight. And then just come back when he's ready to go again.
Adesanya, man. Yeah. I really hope he wins his next fight. He's lost 2 in a row now. He's not booked for anyone, but he's been rumoured to be fighting Najmuddin Imavov.
That's a weird one.
What do you mean?
It's weird to hear Adesanya fighting someone I don't know.
Yeah, Najmuddin is good. He's a French. He's from Dagestan, but he's like French. He fought. Who did he last fight? He beat Brendan Allen. He beat in his last fight, and then the fight before that, he beat Jared Cannonier. Basically, Sean Strickland beat him nearly 2 years ago. And then since then, he's just been on a mad winning streak. He's really good. He's a really good fighter.
I'm still not too worried about Adesanya, though. Like, in his last fight, he looked good.
He looked good, but then he made that mistake. And then you yeah, he was winning that fight. It was a weird one. Yeah. I think he was beating DDP.
He looked so clean. He looked fast.
Yeah, he looked like oldest Adesanya, but then he got caught. And then he made a mistake, one mistake, and then it was over kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, I really want to see Duplessis versus Hamzat.
Yes.
I know Sean Strickland technically deserves it, but after watching what Hamzat done to...
Hamzat is a joke.
Watching what Hamzat done to Whittaker. Even I love Hamzat. And I've always loved Hamzat since I first saw him, but I did not expect him to go... He literally steamrolled
I was
Whittaker.
expecting him to... I thought the plan from Whittaker was like, all right, I'm gonna let him run out of steam, and then he'll get tired like in the Usman fight. Am I thinking?
Yeah, and the Gilbert Burns fight.
And then in the 5th or the 4th, I'm just gonna do him.
Yeah.
But wow.
Tore. I rewatched it the other day, and he run him over. I was like, wow, man.
I genuinely thought it would be like, all right, he's gonna be like this for a few minutes, and then he's gonna tire himself out.
Yeah, Hamzat is just he's special. But because that's another thing. It's kind of like styles make fights, and because DDP is so big, he's so strong, and he's awkward. His style is not textbook, but he's effective. So it's just, in a way, they might cancel each other out. And also, Duplessis, he doesn't get tired either, and he's physically just a beast, and he's got power, and he can knock you out, and he can wrestle, and he's just good. He's good everywhere.
Genuinely, that nose surgery did wonders.
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah.
And Hamzat is just, oh man, I want to see that fight so bad.
It'd be so good.
So good, man.
It's crazy how quickly the hype for Hamzat came back, because I remember if we went back like a year, everyone would be like, yawn, the Hamzat again.
Yeah, because when it was strange, the hype was real. Like, I mean, I've always had the hype with him, but when he fought Gilbert Burns 2.5 years ago, even though he won the fight, and it was one of the best, I think that was the best fight I saw that year. A lot of people were like, wow, he's human. He's getting hit a lot. I mean, but Burns hurt him, and he's a smaller guy than him. And then he was meant to fight Nate Diaz, and then he fought Kevin Holland, missed weight completely. Everyone turned their back on him. He chokes out Kevin Holland in 2 minutes. And then it was what fight was it? Then he didn't fight for a year. Yeah. Fights Kamaru Usman, who it was on short notice. And then it was like...
himself out, goes to the...
Yeah, and then Usman nearly won. It was like, whoa, what is going on? He lost a lot of aura. And then...
A lot, yeah.
Then his aura just came back, and then even in that fight week, people were like, "Oh, he doesn't look that good. He looks kind of out of shape, and his eyes don't. He doesn't look as scary."
He wasn't. He grew his hair out, and he was being all humble.
Yeah, and people were like, "What is going? This is a red flag."
Yeah.
And then as soon as he got to that, he sprints to the cage, and he's like, "Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar," and it's just like, "Whoa, he's terrifying." And then he just went right through Whittaker. It was crazy. I was like, "Wow, he is back."
What
and then.
Beast, man.
Yeah, and apparently he's allowed into America. Like, he can travel, he said. And Dana was saying he can travel. And I think, Hamzat was even saying before the fight, if Donald Trump becomes president, he'll be able to travel more easily. Perfect. He said he's allowed into America anyway, but he was saying if Trump's back, like, obviously because Dana's connections and stuff, he can get him back in. And I was like, wow, okay. So...
And if he sorted out his illnesses, when he's cutting weight, all that sort of thing.
I think the problem where that was coming from was when he was at 170. I think the weight cut just got to him in the end, and he was even saying himself, I just couldn't do it in the end, because you're just dehydrating your body so much. And he's like, I couldn't eat anything. I could have like plain rice and potatoes and a little bit of fish, and that was it. Whereas now I can eat like proper meals. And
it must be horrible.
And I saw a picture of when he was him at 170, and he's got like an 8-pack.
Yeah.
And now he's still in good shape, but he's not shredded. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. He's still obviously in great shape, but he's not like cut. Do you know what I mean? Now it's just like, oh, okay, Hamzat's back kind of thing. Yeah. And he says he feels so much stronger as well, much stronger. Yeah. So
I mean, you can tell he just broke his jaw.
Oh man, yeah, his teeth were like.
I've never seen that before.
And what surprised me when I was watching, Whittaker tapped so quick. Away. I was like, oh my! I couldn't believe it was over.
He must have been in so much pain.
Yeah, he said it was awful. He said it was really, really bad.
Oh.
Really bad.
Can't even imagine.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gassed for Hamzat to come back. And then then we could do I'm praying that we can see that fight. There's a lot of fights next year that I really, really want to see.
Yeah.
I don't think what other fights I want to see. Obviously Jones Aspinall, Hamzat DDP.
Well, the thing is, I've been saying to you, like, I want to watch Shavkat Gary, and I've been saying I want to watch Shavkat so bad for ages. It probably wasn't Gary, but I was saying I want to watch Shavkat.
Fought?
Ages ago. I remember he fought...
I know he fought Wonderboy last year.
Yeah, no, that was it.
No, did he not fight this year?
No. Or maybe he fought... No, the only people he's beaten recently are Wonderboy...
Did he not fight this year?
Who's the black guy with bald head? He's probably like rank like 14.
Jeff Neal.
Jeff Neal.
No, but that was a year and a half ago.
Yeah, and then there's another one as well.
He must have fought somebody else. Like, he must have fought since the Wonderboy fight, surely.
I'm almost certain he hasn't. He fought Wonderboy, Jeff Neal, and...
Well, let's look at the top of the division. Champion it was Leon, then it's Bilal. He didn't fight any of those two. Who else is up there? Wonderboy was last year. Didn't fight Colby. Didn't fight Gary. Didn't fight Usman. Didn't fight Burns, obviously, that's his teammate. Maybe you're right.
Is Buckley in that division as well?
Yeah, but he hasn't fought Buckley.
He hasn't fought Buckley. He fought another guy that looks like Jeff Neal, but it's not Jeff Neal.
Black guy?
Yeah. He's fought like 3 people. They're both like around rank 15.
Oh my god.
Both like black bald guys. He beat both of them.
That is so annoying.
And
so
Wonderboy.
I know he hasn't fought Usman. I know he hasn't. He hasn't fought Buckley. He hasn't fought... Oh, this is going to drive me mad. I think this phone's open. Let me have a look.
Yeah. It's generally, those are the 3 people he's fought in like the past, 3 years?
Maybe you're right, yeah. Was the Wonderboy fight the last one? That was a year ago.
Yeah. I've been saying for ages, like, I want to watch Chef Cat fight. And
oh my god, I can't believe that was the last fight.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried he's not going to be as exciting as I was hoping he would be.
Oh no, he's got 18 fights, 18 finishes.
Yeah, that's the most.
That's one of the most insane stats. If he finishes Ian Gary tomorrow, that'd be like, wow.
Give him that title shot.
Well, he already had the title shot. Yeah. That's the thing. He was meant to be fighting Bilal tomorrow, but then Bilal had to pull out.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. But then if he wins, he fights Bilal. And then I'd like to see Gary versus... Actually, no, well, Leon Edwards said, because he was at that boxing, that I told you that fight where the guy said, I don't want to be here anymore. That was in Birmingham. Leon Edwards was there with Eddie Hearn, and they interviewed him like after the fight, and he was saying, yeah, I'm headlining UFC London in March.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing he must have an opponent, or maybe he doesn't have an opponent. And I'm thinking maybe that could be Jack Della Maddalena, or it could be...
Oh, that would be...
Or maybe it's Brady. Maybe it's Sean Brady. It might be like someone like Sean Brady, or...
Speaking of UFC London,
yes.
Have you thought about buying tickets, or do you think it's just?
Well, if they were cheap, I always look at the prices. If they're worth the thing, and it's a weird one because UFC London in like this one, it's not going to be a pay-per-view. It's a fight night, right? Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be a fight night, meaning the fights technically on paper shouldn't be as good as a pay-per-view, right? Yeah. So why would I pay like over the odds for a fight night card? If I'm going to pay that much money, I want it to be stacked.
That's true. Do
you know what I mean? It's like it's just ridiculous. Even when they done UFC Manchester, how ridiculous were those prices?
That was ridiculous. I can't believe I was considering it at one point. I think that we decided, if it's less.
If it's cheap on the day, but even after that, it went under that. It went lowest it went to was like I think 300. But
did it?
That's still ridiculous to pay.
Yeah. I mean, we'd have to pay for the train and all.
Yeah, I know. Because I was thinking if they put it down to like a pay-per-view, I think I'd pay £100 for a pay-per-view. If they done UFC, if it was like UFC 2 something, and it was like, or 3 or something, and then it was like, okay, we're gonna make this a pay-per-view, and they had like 2 maybe a title fight, a title eliminator, like you had all the big names, like you had Leon, you had Aspinall, you had Paddy, you had Arnold Allen, you had like Molly, and like some other good fights in there. I'd be like, yeah, fine, I'd pay that, but I'll see what the prices are. But it's a fight night at the end of the day. Yeah. I know you get to see Leon Edwards, but you're probably not. It's not going to be. You're not going to have stars from the other countries as well. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, you're right.
I'm not too sure. And let's see who Leon's fighting as well. I think he'll be either fighting Brady or Jack Della, maybe.
Is he still injured or is he back?
He's injured, but I think he should be back by then, because that means he would have been out since it would have been a year. He fought Gilbert in March, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be good. Or MVP. I'd watch Leon MVP. How good would that be? Please let me fight. But do you know what? I listened to an interview with MVP the other day. He was saying, he wants to go up to 185 for a one-off and fight Sharaputin Magomedov. You know, the guy with one eye. He was like, how good would the striking be in that one? I was like, wow, that'd be really, really good. All right, we're done. So we'll come back in a few weeks and then we'll talk about the fights and this and that. All right, bye. Bye, guys.
It's a pleasure.